Hey viewers, my name's Cara. I don't really know what I'm saying in this video. You've probably noticed that I'm a bit behind schedule on trying to do a weekly video. I actually have a lot already rendered and edited and ready to go, but I had been wanting to do the first video of the month as a real-time, this is what's going on in my life right now update, and when the beginning of July 2016 came about, everything that was going on in my life was stuff that I didn't want to talk about online. So I really struggled to come up with something that I would talk about, and also I was really busy. So this is the first daytime hours that I've had completely free and clear in weeks because I've been working on a theater workshop that meets in the mornings because it's summer, so kids are out of school. So we've been doing that every morning. And this past week was our tech week. We opened the show, so I had been running around doing a lot of stuff. This was my first experience with directing at my community theater. I actually had been signed on for this to be the assistant director and stage manager, which is a job that I've done before, and a job that I've done before with this same person. And the director, instructor, after week 2, had an accident and ended up breaking a bone and needing to have surgery, so they have been recovering since then. So I took over as director at the end of the second week when we had already cast the show and preliminarily blocked the show. So I just had to finish fleshing it out, cleaning it up, really cleaning up the blocking, which for those of you who aren't theater people means the way that actors move around the stage. I'm not sure why it's called blocking. Someone also the other day asked me why we call it spiking and spike tape when we use a certain type of tape to mark on the set where the set pieces go, so that when you're doing set changes you can see where the things go and they end up in the right place. So I don't know where all of these specific theater terms. Why did I have such trouble with that word? I don't know where all these specific theater terms came from, but that's what it is. So I had to redo the blocking, finish it up, and I'm working with kids ages 7 to 12, and they were fantastic. I ended up with a fantastic group. They were off book by the day that I told them to be off book, which is incredible in itself for being kids, and you know, that's better than some adult casts I've worked with, and even better than some shows I've been in. So that was really great, and their opening night was last night, and they're just fantastic. And we have another show tonight, and we have another show tomorrow during the day. And then we strike the set, which means we take it all down, put everything away, back where we got it. There are a lot of props, because I dressed the set with a lot of props, and shouldn't take too long, but that's what I've been doing mostly for the past couple of weeks, as my first experience with directing at my community theater. So now that everyone knows I can do it, because I did it in college, I directed some things, but I had not yet directed at my community theater because it's a different system, I don't really know, so yeah, so that's been happening. Also, the Great Lakes Medieval Fair has begun its season. I saw a few of you there, and this past week on The Pagan Perspective, I did my Tuesday video about working with year cards. So I think I touched on this a little bit in that video, but just, you know, talking about how everything in my life that was going on was not something I wanted to share with the internet necessarily or right away. I am happy to say that an interesting thing has been happening since last year when I started making all these big changes in my life. My relationship changed, my work environment changed, I have a new cat now, everything that I've been mentioning that's new since last year. A lot of my friends now are going through that in 2016, and I feel like that's really a shift that happened for me at the end of last year, started and has continued on, and so many of my friends are coming to me and telling me about how they're changing their lives, that their long-term relationships are coming to an end because they are learning more about the other person, or just because people have changed over time and it's no longer the same situation as when you began that relationship, and sometimes you're able to work through it and change and grow together, and sometimes you're not. Sometimes you change and grow apart, just like friendships. And so a lot of my friends are dealing with that. A lot of my friends are dealing with changes in their work environment, finally leaving toxic work environments and trying to do something that is better for them, or leaving their home environment, finding a new place to live. So many of my friends are making these giant, huge life changes. And a lot of my friends, especially when it's the relationship-related ones, have expressed to me that they feel like they should be more upset, that they should be more torn apart by these things coming to an end and these things changing. Because it's a societally expected thing that when a relationship ends, you're upset, right? Especially if something has happened that is negative or whatever. But for a lot of us, even though it's kind of sad and we wished that things could have remained the way they were in a lot of ways, in other ways we realize that the change is for the better. And so we might miss something, or we might say, you know, it was nice to have that, what we had at that time, but we realize that it's better the way it's going, and it's improving, and it's moving in a positive direction. So that's a pattern that I've noticed a lot with people, not only making the changes, but also feeling really good about the changes, and sometimes feeling bad that you don't feel bad about the changes because you think that other people will expect you to feel bad or something. So I just want to say, I'm going through a lot of that myself, obviously, and I know a lot of people going through it. So if you are going through that as well, and you're having these experiences, we're right here with you. And it's not just spiritually minded people. This is not something that's just pulling on those of us who are really tuned in with something or other. This is, you know, everybody across the board. Everyone in my life is feeling this and going through this. And it's incredible. And I hope that for everyone, even when it's hard, even when it's difficult, even when it's a dark night of the soul type deal, which was the pagan perspective topic 2 weeks ago that I did my video on, even when it's that kind of thing, that you can see the silver lining, if you will, that you can see that it's going to be a positive change in the long run, and that it's kind of clearing the ground and making way for new growth. That is so hard to see in the thick of it a lot of the time. I know just as well as a lot of you, but yeah, that's something that I've talked about it on here before. I know I'm repeating some of the same things, but I feel like it's such a big thing and it's still happening, and it's worth reminding you that you're not alone. Everybody is supporting you in this. Hopefully we are supporting ourselves in this as well. That's really important, and that it will lead toward positive change and growth. I want to say that I just got this shirt from my mother, and I love it. It's like a yin-yang type thing. She gave this to me, and it really resonates with me right now because it's a heart. So, I mean, it's a, it's a stylized heart, not an anatomical heart. But, love and balance are two very important things to me. So my mother just gave me this shirt yesterday, and I'm wearing it already, and just trying to soak up some of those good vibes from it. So I don't think there's anything else really pertinent that I want to say right this second. There are a lot of videos, as I said, already edited and together that I'm just going to pop up for the rest of the month. And I will say that they were pre-recorded in the description, probably. So I will go later to the library and try to organize and put things up and catch myself up. And hopefully I will have a little bit more control of my schedule again and not get so behind and just pay attention to things, because I really would like to be doing things once a week, and I just feel like when I concentrate on other stuff like theater, it takes up so much time and so much energy that everything else kind of disappears, it goes by the wayside, and I really need to work on the balance. I really need to work on remembering to keep everything that I love happening together, because it's very easy to focus really hardcore on one thing and then focus really hard on something else at different times, but I want to keep them together. So thank you for watching, and thank you for listening, and tell me in the comments if you're going through anything like this, or if there's anything that you want to say, basically. And until next time, don't forget to be awesome, blessed be, and goodbye.